what do you do when you're going down into Florida and you're in the St. Augustine area? You visit the World Golf Hall of Fame. And that's what we're going to do. So come along. Let's do it. It's an abbreviated trip because we don't want to get in anybody's way. But I just want to let you know of all the cool things that can be done while you're here at the World Golf Hall of Fame. Now let's cover a few other things. The World Golf Hall of Fame has been around for a while. There's plenty of inductees, things that you can do. You know, if you like just anything about pieces of golf, this is the place to come. However, if you're a golfer and you want to come visit, there's at least 2 golf courses I would certainly recommend. One is the King and the Bear, obviously designed with Nicholas and Arnold Palmer. And then the other is the Slammer and the Squire. Both of them are in different locations, so it's not like you just come in and you separate. You go to different areas. Both very well done, both very nice courses, both something that you want to look into. So let's go inside and let's go check some stuff out. So here we are on the second floor of the World Golf Hall of Fame, and we're masking up. So hopefully it gets through. This one talks about the history of golf. Now this is where I like to live and learn about all kinds of different things golf, but talks about the very beginning of what would be called Kolf, K-O-L-F, and that's the beginning where from the Dutch would bring over golf balls to the Scottish, and they would play the game on ice. And they would take it long, long distances in order to hit it. If you can imagine a ball rolling across the ice. Then it gets over into Flemish territory where they talk about Chole, C-H-O-L-E, and then it gets into what looks like a croquet mallet, and that's for the French and the English before it turned into something that the Scottish has. So let's go take a look at some of that. So what you're going to see here, this is where most people know where the history of golf starts. And if we look, we get to see where some guys got caught golfing on a Sunday, which was not allowed in the England-Scotland area. And the bigger areas of Edinburgh, where they were golfing, and then to where it becomes, well, you see what they had, what was standard equipment. And we'll talk about the makers of standard equipment if we get to. And then they get the first Golfers Society. So if you guys ever get a chance to actually get to the World Golf Hall of Fame, want to learn a little bit more about the history and what we saw on the first floor, this is the place to come. Now once you get into the second floor, you get to go over a replica of the Swilcan Bridge. It is just down, it's on the 18th from the Royal and Ancient, what this is. Tens of thousands of people have had their picture taken here. Fortunately for me, I have a good wife that allowed me to go to Scotland with her on our 900th anniversary. Our 9th, and I actually got to get there, and we got our picture taken on it. But definitely a replica, something certainly that you would want to go see. So once you get past the Swilken Bridge, you get a putt like the folks did back in the 1800s. And if you notice that the tools of the day were a little different than what they are now. And you'll find out that most of them had some sort of steel or animal bone that were placed in the front in order to be able to get the ball rolling. And that was to help prevent from caving some of the faces. They also had a little bit of lead on the back, a whole bunch of pitch that they used to keep the wood pieces together, and some real leather grips. So if you remember from the Bob and Jim show when we had the putters, I got my buddy Bob. And we're going to put these with just regular, these are the gutta percha balls, and they're scored, and these are out of real gutta percha, and we're going to go putt just like they did in the 1800s. Going downtown? All right, we're going downtown. Except for I'm going to use a lefty. Now you'll find that the greens of this year are very much not manicured as in the day, and so you can really get on them. Since I got the kid club, see what we can make out. Takes a little bit more to get there, that's for sure. And if you see, I throw it in there. Hey! Uh-oh. There we go. You can just go downtown just all over. Now if you look at some of what we've got right here, is that golf in the day, particularly in the Europe area, the spectators were allowed to get a lot closer to the game than what we are now. And I think it created a level of more concentration and created a better player. And then using this kind of equipment where everything was made of the wood of the day, it wasn't until much later that hickory became the wood of choice, and that was because of a shipment of axe handles that came to Scotland. Let's go see some new stuff. Well, if we take a turn from doing the putting, now we're into the club maker and the first professional golfers. And this is the part where you just really get to see who is doing what and when. And they have displays from Archulone, from Morris, Forgan, McEwen, Patrick, and just a litany of others. And then they talk about the first, well, right here, one of the first professionals. And when you were a professional today, you had a day job as well, whether it be course design, being a caddy or whatnot. It wasn't until young Tom that things became interesting. But when you were a professional, you would do challenge matches, and all these people would put this money in together, and then there was a divvying up of the pot, depending on who won. But what you get to see here, we're going to go look, and what you've done as an example, is what you see is the extra large grips that they were using, and they were leather wrapped, and then they'd be finished with a pitch, and then they would have the hickory bent into the nose or the head of the club, and then they were using, again, bone or metal in order to ensure that the face was protected. Long gone are the tools of the trade, and you know how much I like tools of the trade. What we see here is the types of tools they were using in order to make golf clubs of the day. Planes, drills, metal, liquid metal, rasps or files, single hand saws, and then you get to see what it looked like in the shop. You know, I think this was just in before the day of the frequency machine and length and cutoff wheels, as you think. And then we get into the feathery, when the feathery left and became the gutta percha ball. And then the women were allowed to be in the game, haha. Now, if nothing else, the folks that made the clubs were extraordinarily interesting when you see all the different shapes and sizes, because things were just getting started. Not too many people knew what was what and how things were made, and so you had clubs that were made for specific purposes. You had a rut iron, and this was to get through when you're in water. You had smaller ones. If you see this one with a hole in the middle, and they were small enough when they were called rut irons so that they would fit in the rut of what a wagon wheel would make when they were on the golf course. And it wasn't until you had center shafted ones with pings on the front of it in order to allow the ball to be grabbed, and all the different sizes. And that was until, this was allowed until they had a governing body. And so you get to see the different ones that were made. It's from, these are perforated irons, large heads, small heads. And then you got patents on the backside there over here. Transitional woods, i.e. the beginning of the hybrid. Another well-founded display is a tribute to African Americans and their contributions to the game and what some of them had to do to break through. Charlie Shifford, Althea Gibson, John Shippen, and of course, last but not least, Tiger Woods. And there's some interesting stuff in here. And if we go back and we look at Charlie's, he was carrying a staff bag back in the day. And that's what he was playing with in order to make it around the greens, in order things that they were doing. Just such an interesting display. You could spend an hour, 2 hours in here just reading about everything that's going on. So once you get done going through history, when you get done going through all the Open, when you get down through the US Open, and you get into where all the inductees are. And these, what you see is this is just a teeny portion of what you can see up and down in their brass, busts of, you got Ken Nagel, senior, Tom Moore Senior, junior, Phil Mickelson's in there, but it's not just for golfers. You have people that are kings in the industry, like Carson Solheim. You had inductees of presidents such as Dwight Eisenhower, all along in here. And the things that they bring with them to the game, the things that they did for the game. These are things that you can really learn a lot about and again, spend all kinds of time seeing the different peoples that were put into the Hall of Fame. Just goes to show you how many different varieties of folks can impact golf. So now where we're at is, we went from turn of the century beginning time frame of how to putt on your backyard with a wooden stick to what the pros would be playing on. And I have Bob here again with me, and we've been playing some pretty fast greens. We're gonna pace a few off. We got the golf clappers in the house. That's good. 2 balls. I got one. We're gonna have a contest so you can get close. So we're gonna be off here in the middle cup. I got 1, 3, 4. Around 10-foot putt. 10-foot putt. This is how fast it is, what the players are playing on. That was just a touch. Look at this thing go. Look at this. Look at this. We've been playing on greens that have been lightning quick. In fact, we played the Dye Valley course, which is very fast. Here we go with Bob. Bob has been playing lights out with that putter grip. Look at that. Look at that. Just so much easier. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. It's just amazing. Just the sheer, for people that don't really get a chance to play on fast greens, it is just fractions of taps, and you wonder how they can make those long putts. Well, it's because it doesn't take a whole lot to get there, but you also got to read greens. So here we go, chip and putt challenge, the Bob and Jim show.
Put it on the striped one there that your foot's on right now. Yeah. Yep, put it on that mat. Anywhere you like. Okay, now you're set.
Here we go, let's see it.
Hit it like you would if you were on the course, 79 yards.
Look at Bob go.
Wow, okay.
All right.
Player 2, it's your turn to swing.
It's my turn to swing. Okay. Lefty's always got to make the problem. That's all right. I want you in the camera, Bob. It's just there. 79 yards.
Let me knock this one off.
Okay.
And you're all set to go.
79-yard wedge. Let's see.
You missed the bunker
Rough.
in the rough, but not
Player
bad.
2, it's your turn to swing.
All right, player 2, it's still your turn.
Oh,
Now you're in the rough there. We have different mats. See the one that looks like grass there?
this one?
Put it in that, yeah. Supposed
All right.
to help, I guess, putting the
13 yards.
idea.
That's about the length of this whole mat.
We're on. Okay.
Story of my life right there.
Player 1,
I'll
it's your
take
turn.
that.
Your turn, Bob.
You guys are both onto the putting. Now putters are against the wall. Oh, you already grabbed yours. Good.
I use this one.
So go ahead and step up on the platform there. And putting's going to work the same exact way. You'll just knock the ball onto that mat there. Yep, there you go. Now the only thing that's a little different is you see these moving arrows back here. That's telling you the slope. The ball's going to go off to the right is what it's saying. You got 44 feet pretty much, and it's uphill. But don't hit it too hard because these greens are slick.
Get in the hole.
Oh,
This is
wow,
going to be just
very
like today. Oh, just like today.
I love how they added in the audience voice.
Yeah.
So when it skins the whole
Oh,
It's your turn to swing.
my turn.
Yours is doing the same thing going on the lower right.
21 feet. All right.
You're a little downhill. Just a tad though.
Well, let's see if I can lag it like I've been doing all day.
Okay.
Look at that. Give me another ball.
Apron. Player 2, it's your turn to putt.
40. I went from 20 some feet.
Yeah, it took you pretty much the same distance.
Nice. That seems like my game today.
Okay.
Actually, it does look like your game.
Yeah, it does. It's a friggin'
Putt.
Alright, player 1.
totally horrible today.
And you're going to the left net.
It's going that way.
Yeah, it's gonna break to
see
the
all the-
left, so. Okay.
In the hole.
Very nice.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice
very good.
par.
Have you done one of these simulators before? That was pretty good. Really?
11 feet.
Okay, I always say the putting's so tricky on these things. Yeah.
You'll win anything like
Well, this
a
is just
participation trophy or?
a pat on the back for this.
Okay.
Thumbs up, and you got it all on camera.
Double bogey. That seems like what we were playing today.
Pat on the back, they will.
Yeah, pat on the back, and you got the bragging
And
video too. So.
well done. Thank you, man.
Oh yeah,
Thanks.
anytime.
Alrighty. Well, got smoked again. Meg Mellon with the Buckeye. Loreno Ochoa. Yep. Ian Woosnam. Peggy Bell from Spalding. Look at that. And some lockers for future people. Well, we couldn't make it past the Phil locker, of course. Sporting some of the Callaway gear. The wife's breast cancer hat. The fact that he likes ping pong. Got his jet. All the different things. Phil, class of 2002. It just keeps going. All the different people. George H. Bush. Jose Maria Othabel. And then another lefty that not many people get to talk about. Bob Charles. He was a Titleist man. Some of the things you just see when you get in here, these people that put in there, they don't realize how cool some of the things are, from Dunlop to Spalding to Wilson, Callaway, the different items that they put in here and the different clubs that you can see. There's Tommy Bolt and the things that he had. And you get to see Mizuno, Johnny Miller with McGregor. And if you look at some of these really closely, there's Julie Inkster. That some of these, look at some of the stuff that these people had to play with back in the day. And this is Beth Daniel from the class of 2000. And look at the clubs that these guys were playing with and could probably still whip us. Johnny Miller. Sorry for the lighting. As you get down to the very last bit of it, you get out through all the rounds, you go through all the locker rooms, all this stuff, and you get greeted by this. Life well played, Byron Palmer. I can't think of anything more fitting. Now, we get through, as you go through the, what I like to call through the tchotchke shop or the gift shop, but we got a complimentary try and get one on the green, so we're going to try that next. So last but not least, what we get to do is we get to hit onto the green. And when we get to hit onto the green, they give you, it's 132 to a pin. We got Bob over here of the Bob and Jim show. Let's see if we can get him in here. There goes the first one. I give you like the TV shot. Woohoo! Did you make it on? Yep. Nice. There we go again. This is where we're going to. Did you get on? Nice. So one of one, or one of two, huh? That's the deal? Okay.
Penny missed hers.
Penny. So what we're looking at, I'm taking this thing off. So the girls didn't want to hit theirs. Bob got one on and one off, and so Penny missed hers. As the case may be. 132. Here we go. Let's see if we can make this happen. If I get a hole in one, Ping, I'm coming for you. Stubbed it. And short. That was Robbins. Good Lord. Let's get to a spot I can hit. All right, here we go. Let's try one more time. And left. I'm going to be wet twice.